Everybody, and on to page 15. Woo! Almost the end of the day. The final question of page 14 is, can you at least still desire happiness? And that's what the Spirit asks the ghost. Happiness, as you will come to see when you are older, lies in the path of duty, said the ghost. Now, one, he said duty. But two, what's important to note is that the ghost still doesn't get what happiness is. He's so focused on his intellect, it's fascinating, that he can't even understand the joy that's right in front of him. He's looking at one of his friends, one of his counterparts, and he just sees blankness. He doesn't recognize the joy that's there for him to see. That's the whole point of heaven, and he can't even get that in his head. Ah! He wants to go to a theological society to meet with people that he thinks are dumb, to talk about old ideas. What's another thing that he says about Jesus here? Read this paragraph. I am going to ask my audience to consider what Jesus' mature views would have been. Profoundly interesting question. What a different Christianity we might have had if only the founder had reached his full stature. I shall end up by pointing out how this deepens the significance of the crucifixion. One feels for the first time what a disaster it was. What a tragic waste. What do you think, Jesus? I don't think he would say that it's a tragic waste. I think that he would say that it was the whole point of the incarnation. In fact, if we were to look back at Life of Christ, that's exactly what this book says that we read in class. Is that the entire point of Jesus' life culminates in the crucifixion, because it's only through the crucifixion that we actually receive true happiness. We're sinners. We are flawed. We have failed. Our sin, from the beginning of time until now, has merited the death not only of all of creation, all of humanity, but also of all of creation. We've caused this. And it would be eternal destruction if we were to continue to let it happen. And so what does God do? He puts a stop to the perpetual destruction. And in the book of Revelation, he reminds us that even though things look like they may be passing away, that is only this world that is passing away, because again, behold, I will make all things new. The specter can't see that. The ghost is blinded by his own ambition, his own desire to be needed, his only desire to be seen as smart. Then he can't recognize the real redemption that's placed before him. He doesn't get the resurrection. He doesn't get heaven. Which is why it's okay whenever the ghost turns away towards the end. I mean the spirit turns away from him at the end. Because he thinks that Jesus was only a person, only a philosopher. If Jesus is equal to all of the philosophers that Fulton Sheen talks about from that section that we read from Life of Christ, then he wouldn't have had somebody that made an advertisement for him throughout all of history and in all of these things. His life wouldn't have culminated in a death that was so tragic. That wouldn't have been the end goal, is to die and then to be resurrected. The theologian misses the entire point of theology, which is to encounter a God who drew close to us, so that way we might be drawn close into his own heart. Remember, the liturgy is the perichoresis of the Trinity, canonically extended to invite our synergistic ascent into deification. It's God opening himself up and walking over to give us a really big bear hug, even in this time of social distancing. I think that it's important to recognize this, that this is what the theologian is missing out on, this real touch that the Spirit is inviting him to receive. And thus, because he misses out on it, the Spirit turns away, because he's in fact not ready to meet the God that comes to save him. Tomorrow I'm going to ask that you spend some time focusing on all the fun things that the main character sees, focusing on the waters and the waterfall, focusing on his experience of running up the down escalator. I hope that you enjoy the next section, and I hope that these lectures have been helpful for you. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.